Hello, my name is Ricky Sorrentino. I'd like to welcome you to my life history project. I was born Richard Raymond Sorrentino after my father. I weighed in at a massive 10 pounds 6 ounces in a hospital in none other than the great city of Chicago, Illinois. Being born in Chicago, there are certain things that come with the territory. My own social structure through the environment that shaped me forever. One of these, of course, is the food. The Chicago-style pizza, and of course the Chicago-style hot dogs. With being from Chicago also comes being a fan of the major and dominant sports teams. The Chicago Bears for football, the Chicago Bulls for basketball, the Chicago Blackhawks for hockey, and of course my favorite, the Chicago Cubs, as my favorite Chicago baseball team. As you may have guessed from hearing my last name, Sorrentino, I am full-blooded Italian American. However, my family is only somewhat similar to what you may see in the movies. We are loud, very loving, and eat great food, but we don't kill people. My family consists of my mother, DeRay, my older sister, Nicole, and my two younger sisters, Kelly and Erin. My father unfortunately passed away when I was 17 years old, but I will get to that later in the story. I am surrounded by a lot of women, but it is these very women who shaped me into the man that I am today. I was a typical wild child in my youth who was searching for direction in this crazy world. The first sense of direction came from my friends, from a very young age. I got my start in sports as soon as I could walk, playing football, basketball, and baseball all throughout high school. My friends not only encouraged me in sports, but some of my best friends to this day are some of the people I grew up playing sports with. Being an athlete for pretty much my whole life, I oftentimes faced the challenges of role conflicts. Since the day I could walk, I had to be a student and an athlete. Till this very day, I continue to be a student athlete. However, no matter how tough it was, I wouldn't change any of this for anything in the world, because balancing school, sports, a job, and eventually a harder family life made me into the mature, determined, hard worker that I am today. March 7th, 2008 will always be a day of infamy in my family. It was on this day that my father went in for open heart surgery and a triple bypass and never came out of the hospital. My father was hit with septic shock while being in the hospital and put into a sedated coma for 60 days. Eventually he made his way out of the coma, but he also faced 2 strokes, lost all of his voluntary movement, his ability to breathe, and his ability to eat food. My dad bounced from rehab institutions to hospitals all over the state of Illinois till eventually he lost his fight, my junior year, 2010. It was at this time that I realized my family fell under the functionalist theory. With the loss of my father, who was a key and possibly main contributor in making my family function as a whole unit, my family stumbled until we found a way to divide up his roles in the family and function correctly together again. For many months I struggled with the idea of not being able to be the head of the household and giving up that authority to my mother because I was the man, and as a man in the gender role, you believe that you are the head of the household. It wasn't until I fell back on my friends and my family that I realized I wasn't in this by myself, and it wasn't my job to take care of my family, but instead it was a family effort to take care of each other, and this led me to have the family moral and the family stability that I have today, and I am blessed to have learned that lesson at such a young age. After the loss of my father, I really hunkered down in school, started to get great grades, which eventually got me into Butler, where I currently play football and am now a 2-time defending PFL champion. Aside from having an amazing family and a great group of friends, I also have the best girlfriend in the entire world, Denisa, who I've been with for almost 6 years now in my life, and I have actually recently given her a pre-engagement ring, which is basically telling her that once I have enough money to buy a real ring, we will be getting married, so that's another huge step that I've taken in my life. On top of that big news, I also turned 21 in October. So every day, possesses more temptation and different decisions to make. And whenever I have a hard time making decisions, I think back to the morals that my father taught me, which was always keep your head up and life always turns back in your favor. Thank you so much for your time.